We're in Oaxaca, Mexico, and we're here to eat.
This Oaxaca series is all about sharing with you some of the best and most traditional foods from this amazing state. Oaxaca is one of the richest food regions in Mexico, with a food scene that's strongly influenced by the indigenous cultures who call Oaxaca home. This is a place for people who love to eat. This is our first video from Oaxaca, and we're taking you into the famous smoke-filled meat alley and eating some Oaxacan specialties. In this massive Mexico series, we're hunting down the country's tastiest food and eating where the locals eat. You don't want to miss this series. Get ready for some mouth-watering food.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate.
We hope you're hungry. Let's eat. We are so excited to be in Oaxaca. It has a very special food scene here. So the food scene here it's one of the epicenters of food in Mexico, and it's also very different to what you see elsewhere in Mexico. So there's a lot of indigenous influence. Their geography means they have some very interesting ingredients here. So it's a very exciting food place. But today we're starting with a massive meat feast, and this is an incredible meal. So you have to do it all yourself. Well, you have to do all the purchasing yourself of all the different ingredients. So it's a really interesting meal to see come together. I love this thing, so I'm really looking forward to it. But before we go in for the meat feast, we have to buy some grasshoppers or some chapulines. So they're gonna go with the meal when we're eating it, but we have to pick them up before we start. Let's go find a stall.
Chapulines or grasshoppers are a really popular street snack here in Oaxaca, and you'll see them for sale all over town. We're just in front of a stall here, and there are piles and piles of different sizes of the chapulines. There's some really big ones here, some smaller ones. Usually what happens is that they're cooked and then they're tossed in lime and salt and chili, so they're flavored. Which is delicioso. Gracias. We've got our chapulines to go with our meal, and we've just arrived at Meat Alley. So Meat Alley is part of a market called Mercado de Noviembre, and oh my gosh, there's so much smoke and delicious smells. Follow me. So what we've got to do is find the stall that we want to eat at. You can see all of the different types of meat lined up. There's beef, there's sausage, there's pork. The smells are seriously delicious. So as Thomas mentioned before, you've got to compile the meat and go to each vendor to buy the different ingredients. So you got to buy your meat, you got to buy your veggies, you got to buy your salsas, you got to buy your drinks, all separately. Let's go and find some veggies to start off with. Hola, buenos días. So you get given, it's a little bit confusing, but what you do is you get given this basket, and you can load up with the different accompaniments that you want. So we've got little avocados, there's cactus salad, there's obviously salsas, there's cooked chilies and onions, all sorts. So anything that you want to go with your meat, you can choose and put into your little basket. Alright, so the ladies have given me a menu, and it tells you specifically how much each dish is. So it says choose your complements to go with your meal, and so you load up your straw basket. Ah, sí, gracias. Okay, so there are even instructions. So it says get your basket, choose where you want to buy your meat, come back to your table, and at the table you choose the different drinks and vegetables inside. So I guess that's what we do. Take our basket and choose our meat, which is great. Hola, buenos días.
Buenos días.
Tasajo. So they've got tasajo. So tasajo is really thinly pounded beef, and it's been cured in salt, and then it's really tasty. It's got a really beautiful flavor. There's chorizo, which is spicy sausage. There's what else? Cecina. Intestine, so tripa. And also ribs, and also I think pork meat as well. So there's tons to choose from. You can order it by the kilo. I don't think we'll order a kilo of meat. We'll probably just go for maybe a quarter of a kilo. Cecina cuarto
de kilo.
Sí, sí.
Cuarto de kilo y
cuarto kilo.
40 al cuarto.
Cecina. y chorizo. Muchas gracias. No tasajo.
Hola.
No tasajo.
¿Tasajo no?
Nana. Sí, sí. Muchas gracias.
¿Medio kilo?
Sí, sí, gracias. When you walk in, it can be quite bewildering because everyone's yelling at you to come to the stand. You basically just pick a stand, which we've done. We've ordered 1/4 kilo of pork, which has been marinated in a chili sort of marinade, and then we've ordered some chorizo as well. And the stall that you buy the meat from cooks the meat for you, so it's done over charcoal. And you can see that she's fanning those flames, and the smokiness is just absolutely incredible. Muchas gracias.
Anthony.
Wow. They also ask you how many tortillas you want, so I went for 4. She's heated them up and then chucked them onto my basket, and so I've got my chorizo and also my pork. Okay, time to pick up some accompaniments. All right, I think we're definitely going to go for some aguacate, some avocado, and then we're going to go for some red salsa, I reckon. Maybe this one here. It looks pretty spicy. It's muy picante. Wow. Okay, so I just asked if it was very spicy and he nodded, so that'll be perfect. And then I think we'll go for maybe some of this. Perfecto. Gracias. Some cooked onions and also muchas gracias. Some cooked onions and also some lime. That's going to be perfect, I reckon. All right, we're set. Gracias. It was confusing the first time Thomas and I ate here 2 years ago, and it was just as confusing today. People are coming at you from all angles, and all of the stalls are owned by separate people. So you're paying for each item of food as you go. So you pay for your meat separately, you pay for your veggies separately, you pay for your tortillas separately. It's hot, it's smoky, it's loud because there are musicians wandering up and down the alley playing music. But it's fun. It's really exhilarating. So this is what we ended up with. Let me talk you through what we've got. So we've got 4 tortillas. We've got some meat. Now it's sort of hard to gauge how much meat we ordered. We just went for 1/4 kilo, and it actually doesn't look like much at all, but it'll be super tasty, and we've got lots to eat today. So we've got chorizo sausage, and then we've got cecina, which has been marinated in a chili paste. It smells really, really smoky. Then we've got some cut up avocado. We've got some salsa, which looks really, really spicy. It's got heaps of chili seeds in there, and I asked him if it was picante, if it was hot, and he nodded. And then we've got some cebollitas, which are small onions. They've been grilled, and then also some limes. And then to wash it all down, we went with 2 Victorias, or 2 beers. And then we've also got our bag of chapulines or grasshoppers to add a bit of texture to our tacos.
So as well as buying everything to make up your desired amount, you then obviously get to make up your perfect taco. So I'm going to go with a nice tortilla, obviously. Let's get some avocado on there. The avocados in Mexico are incredible. So we'll just couple big chunks of avocado. Now a big slab of this beautiful thin marinated pork. We'll dump that on top. Definitely one of these fried onions. You can see where it's all nice and charred from being on the grill. We'll get some lime, which I'll put on later. Some of these grasshoppers. So these are deep fried, so you can see they're all golden, and so that's going to give a bit of crunch to the dish. So they're a little bit oily as well, but they're going to add some nice crunch. So we'll put them all over the top. And now some of this salsa. We've lost our spoon, it's totally gone for a swim. Let's just use this fork to get a nice whack of salsa all over the top. Yes, and that lime. So nice big juicy lime. Okay, let's wrap that all up and dive in. I'm going to go with the end where I've got the bulb of the onion. I think I said they were fried. They're obviously grilled, so that's why they're all black, but I want that nice, sweet, juicy, blackened end of the onion. Oh, that onion, exactly what I was hoping for. It's got a beautiful smoky taste. And then the meat is so nice and soft, really easy to eat through. But the dominant flavor was the onion. Got a huge burst of the tang and sweetness from the onion, and a little bit of a burnt flavor, which is beautiful. And the salsa, not too hot actually. A really good spice, a good kick of spice, but not too crazy hot. I'm going to go again, so I'm sort of more in the center. Oh man, it is all so good. But the onion is the thing for me. The onion is pulling all those other flavors together so well. And I love this environment to eat in. It's really full on, so it's sort of, it definitely adds to the atmosphere. And the fact that this is quite a unique and unusual way to have your food, it's super good. Now, I didn't talk about these grasshoppers. I couldn't actually really taste them. No, I could definitely taste them in there. I thought that they were the flavor of the marinade on the pork, because those are beautiful. They're tangy from, sort of tastes like citrus, so I think they've got a whole lot of lime on them. And they're quite spicy. A really quick hitting, sharp spice that dies off really quickly. Oh, yeah, they are amazing. So yeah, I could definitely taste those in there. I didn't put two and two together. I didn't think that they'd have such a strong flavor. They are very good. The best grasshoppers I've ever had here in Oaxaca, and they're a really common snack. You often just grab a bag, snack on them while you're wandering down the street. I'm gonna grab off some of this pork chorizo. So, look how juicy it is inside. What I loved about this was how they were cooking it. So they were chucking the whole string on the embers, so actually lifting up the grill, putting the sausage right on top of the charcoals, right amongst the flame. So what that's done is created this beautiful, nice, crispy, sort of charred bits on the outside, but inside it is juicy still. And look at the color in there. So I'm gonna go pretty much naked on this. I'm gonna put some lime on there, and I'm gonna put a whole lot of salsa on there. Just pile on the salsa. Oh wow. Oh, the outside-inside difference is fantastic. So that crispiness and that little charred flavor on the outside, but as soon as you get to the inside, really juicy. Oh, that is so good. That is a great way to cook it, and a really nice sausage, really nicely spiced. And the sausage meat itself is very loose, so it's not too dense. That is a good sausage. That was an absolute riot. This place is so good to visit. It's full on, it's smoky, it smells delicious. It is a great place to eat.
We're just going to nip into Benito Juarez market because there is a stall in there that we love. They've been around since the 1920s. It's family run and they do the best agua frescas or fruit waters in town. This is the stall right here. They've been around since 1926 and you can see the array of juices that is lined up on the counter. Let's go and grab one. Hola, buenos días.
Con limón, guanábana, tamarindo, limón rallado, ciruelas, sandía.
There are so many agua frescas or fruit waters lined up. So all sorts of fruit flavors. There's tamarind, there's soursop, there's passion fruit, there's cucumber and lemon. But we are going to drink their famous horchata with tuna. Una horchata con tuna, por favor. Delicioso. Muchas gracias. This horchata is going to go down a treat after all of that meat. So horchata is a really popular drink in Mexico. It is made out of rice and almonds and milk and cinnamon and sugar. It's very, very refreshing. Now we have come to this particular store because they are very famous for their horchata. This place has been around since 1926. It is still family run. And what they do with their horchata is they add tuna, which is prickly pear, and that's why the horchata is actually pink. So this is not normal. It's quite unusual to have all of these different additions. They also add pecan nuts, so you can see those floating on the top. And there are also chunks of melon in there. You can see the chunks of melon. Oh, this looks so good. I'm going to give it a bit of a stir. It's filled to the brim, so not too vigorous of a stir, otherwise it might spill. Let's give this a taste. Oh, it's so refreshing. It is seriously one of my favorite things to drink here in Mexico. It's very light, a little bit creamy, but because there's a lot of water in with those other ingredients, it's very, very refreshing. The tuna gives it a beautiful sweetness too. Oh, so good.
Now, we've not really planned it this way, but it's all very handy because Oaxaca has a lot of good food right in the center. So this market right here is where we started this morning for the meat. This market right here is where we've just had the drink. And now this market right here is where we're going for the next thing. So we're going back to where we started for our next snack.
This part of the market is filled with fondas, and fondas are small family-run restaurants. And we're going to take you to our favorite fonda. It's called Comedor Chavalita, and we are here to eat a tlayuda. And a tlayuda starts with this thing here. This giant fried tortilla, which is like the size of a steering wheel, and then it gets loaded with all sorts of toppings. So let's go and grab one. Sí, sí, un tlayuda con quesillo y tasajo, por favor. Una, gracias, señora. This tiny little kitchen, and they're making the tlayuda. So here it is. Muchas gracias, señora. So how huge is this? So it starts with this big tortilla, and then they brush asiento, which is unrefined pork lard, on top. Then they cover it with frijoles, which is the refried beans. And then they've got some avocado, some tomatoes, some cabbage, some lettuce, and then we ordered it with tasajo, which is beef, which is pounded really, really flat, and then it's cured in salt. This thing looks epic. Muchas gracias, señora. So the tlayuda is a classic Oaxacan street food, and this is sort of the contemporary version of the tlayuda because it's got all the vegetables on it. If you have it on the street, the traditional tlayuda does not have the avocado and the lettuce and the tomato and whatnot. It just comes with the beans and the pork lard and also the cheese, and sometimes the meat if you want. That's what I forgot to mention. This has got a special ingredient on it, and that is the quesillo, which is the Oaxacan string cheese. And it smells incredible. That asiento, or the unrefined pork lard, is just giving off this beautiful aroma. So I'm just gonna crunch into it. Look at that. So the tortilla is super, super crispy. Let's just give this a big old bite. The refried beans are so creamy and smooth, and the avocado is just out of this world. The tortilla is super crispy. Okay, I'm gonna rip off some of this tasajo. So tasajo is really thinly pounded steak, and it's cured in salt overnight and then cooked. So I'm gonna put that on my next bit of tlayuda. I'm gonna make sure I get a lot of that quesillo, or the string cheese, on this mouthful. Okay. The tasajo has got so much flavor. Even though it's so thin, it packs a punch, really well seasoned. And that cheese, it's salty and it's got a beautiful creamy texture. So good.
As well as having amazing food, Oaxaca is a very beautiful place to explore. So we're filming this video right in the center of Oaxaca. There are things like this church.
No.
Crazy beautiful architecture, but they're all over the place. That's not a one and only. The buildings are beautiful, lovely colors. It's a really pretty city.
Time for our next street food. So at around 6:30 in the evening, all of the boiled corn and grilled corn vendors come out and start plying their trade. But that's not what we're going to eat. What we're going to eat is something that does use corn, but it's called tostaquites, and they take the corn and they do something pretty special with it. So let's go and grab some. I can see a few stalls that are selling tostaquites, so we're just going to make a beeline for this one right ahead here and grab this street food. Hola, buenas tardes. Una tostaquites, por favor.
¿Con todo?
Sí, con todo, gracias. Wow, delicioso. So it starts with a bag of tostitos, which are corn chips, and then he's popping on some boiled corn kernels, and then some mayonnaise. Wow, a big blob of that. And then what else is going to go on? Some cheese. Oh, a very healthy sprinkling of cheese. And then we've got a, oh, what's that? What's this? Chile. So a bit of chili. Sí, gracias. Some hot sauce. And then some lime, of course. Wow, what a snack. Muchas gracias. Oaxaca is the perfect street food city because there is always somewhere to perch and to enjoy your food. So we're going to grab our, or take our tostaquitos, and then we're just going to find a perch just outside this church here.
This is a really interesting snack, and it's not the first time we've had a snack in Mexico which is based on a bag of corn chips. So if you've seen one of our videos from Mexico City that we'll chuck up there, that is also based on a bag of corn chips, but they use Doritos as their base. Here they use Tostitos, so different brand of corn chips, but same concept really. So we've got salsa verde corn chips under here, and then all those ingredients that Sheena talked about being put on there. So corn is the main ingredient of that. At these stalls, sometimes you can get grilled corn, sometimes it's just boiled corn. This stop only had the boiled corn, so that's obviously what we've gone for. And then the chili and the cheese all piled on top. So pretty simple really, not too much in there, but just a lovely little, oh my God, look at the cheese down there. Crazy. Oh no, that's not the cheese, that's the mayonnaise, of course. I thought it was the cheese all melted in, so the mayonnaise. So I'm just gonna spoon a whole lot up onto this chip. And grab it. Oh, look at that bad boy. Whoa. Oh, you know what I love about that? That tastes exactly like you'd expect it to taste. So get a corn chip, a flavored one in this case, so nice and salty already. Add some cheese, add some spice, add some creamy mayo, add a huge dollop of lime juice all over it. So you're getting all those flavors just jumping out into your mouth. Really good. But I want to get more corn. Spoon up a whole lot of corn this time. There's so much mayonnaise that it's all kind of clumping together. Oh, this one's gone all soggy. Get some more corn. Oh, great snack. Really tasty. I love how these just come out in the evening, and it is the perfect evening snack. It's right on sundown now. You can sit outside this beautiful church, some lovely music being played in the square. Great snack, a really good way to end an amazing food day in Oaxaca. Oh, you go.